Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson, and I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, man, hey man, you're dressed for this weather. It's actually warmed up here in Lubbock. We're here actually in the west parking lot here, across the street from Indiana, from the USA, the site of where the new Womble basketball practice facility will eventually be built. And before we jump into this, I just want to say I've looked at I got my hands on some of the ideas, the blueprints, the proposals for it, and wow, it looks really exciting. This whole area is going to be really sweet. And I have heard from a guy on the inside who said the longer this goes on, the deeper the run that Texas Tech makes, the more money comes in, and the bigger and bigger this facility gets. So they're going to need another land grant here to get to fit this, how big this new practice facility is going to be. So success, man, success everywhere we see. And Texas Tech obviously is in Boston for the Sweet 16 to take on Purdue. So Mighty Joe, just your thoughts? Us just saying that, kind of like how Chris Beard said, could you repeat that? You're going to the Sweet 16. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it's well, I mean, obviously when you get to this point, every team is really, really good.
Yeah.
We can go into the matchups and the details and everything like that, but really what it comes down to is whichever team maximizes its potential on that given day. Because, I mean, these are evenly matched teams. Tech and Florida, evenly matched teams. It's just whoever is able to get the most out of what they got on that given day is what's really going to matter. So, I mean, I'm sure with Coach Beard, it's more like, all right, focusing on us. What do we need to do to make sure that we're right, more than worrying about what Purdue does? I mean, obviously they're going to game plan and strategize for them and everything, but really, I mean, what it all comes down to is what Texas Tech does for itself.
Yeah, and actually there's been a lot of talk about Haas being out and if he's going to play or not. I mean, to me, a broken elbow is like, it doesn't seem like he's going to play. You know what I mean? I think Coach Beard has wisely said they're preparing for any possibility. But you and I were talking before we started filming this that there's actually two other guys that we're really concerned about when you look at Purdue's roster. Let's start with your guy.
Yeah, Dakota Mathias is his name. He's a guard. He's kind of basically a point guard type of a guy. Yep. And he doesn't get any attention, because I mean they got the other guys. They got the big monsters in the middle, 6'7" and 7'2". They got Carson Edwards, who's kind of a all-American sort of a guy, kind of their version of Keenan Evans, I suppose. But Mathias is the guy that can kill you, because I mean he does everything. You're talking about a guy who's averaging about 12 points a game, around 4 rebounds, 4 assists, right in there, something like that.
Exactly.
3-to-1 assist turnover ratio, 3-to-1. I mean, that is salty playing at this level, and he leads the team in steals. All right, so this is a guy that does it on both ends of the court. He just really knows how to play the game. I mean, this guy's a great passer. Chris Chioza, Florida, is a tremendous passer. Mathias is probably just not quite as good, but not too far behind either. Heck of a player, knows how to play the game, so look out for him.
Mathias concerns me in just a little that I've watched more than, I can't say his name, but the very good point guard for Florida, who you just said, because he has more of an outside game. He has more of a pull-up and jumper when necessary. He doesn't always look for it. He does whatever is necessary, whether it be the right pass, pulls up for a jumper, big rebound, whatever. Like you said, he's the kind of guy you worry about. Like 6'4" too, so it's not like you're going to bully him either. As some of Tech, let's be honest, Tech's guards have bullied other guards this year because they're generally bigger than their counterparts. That's not going to be the case here. Another guy who I'm concerned about though, and he really stands out because of his height and the fact that he's got a giant blonde Z through his fro, which matches the school colors, so it kind of goes with the uniform. But no, Vincent Edwards, 6'8" forward. He's a guy, everybody was worried about Haas, and then
Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards, and then the guy who's the replacement for Haas. He's 7'2".
Oh yeah, Matt Harms.
Harms. So I understand the concern about the height inside and everything, but man, Vincent Edwards, 6'8", he's no slouch, and he is so versatile. He can do honestly, like we were talking about with Mathias, is that he can do a lot of the same things. I mean, he'll step out and hit a 3. He's one of their best rebounders. He's good as far as creating with assists and everything. So I guess when you're talking about a 2 seed, you have a bunch of good players. I mean, that's when we're getting down to the Sweet 16, the nitty gritty. You're talking about good teams and good players. So I think you and I, it sounds like we had similar reactions when you look at him. You're like, okay, this is a really good team that Tech's facing. But I think nobody knows that better than Chris Beard and the Red Raiders. So is there anything you can see that you think where Tech actually has an advantage where you think they can exploit?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's several things. I mean, first off, I think it's going to come down to Texas Tech's defense against Purdue's offense.
Yeah.
I mean, Purdue really scores it very well. I mean, they're averaging over 80 points a game.
Yeah.
Not much over 80, but yeah, a little bit over 80 a game. And I think Tech is down around 70. This is one of the better offensive teams in the country. And everybody we mentioned, I mean, these are all double-digit scores.
Yeah.
You know, and Carson Edwards is up around, I believe, 18, 19 a game, something like that. He's their leading scorer. They got a bunch of guys who can really fill it up, and they can do it from all points of the court. They got the inside guys, they got the outside, they can penetrate, they can do it all. All right, so, but listen, Tech's got a pretty good remedy for that, right?
Yeah.
About the saltiest defense in the country. I mean, right now, them and Syracuse, two best defensive teams in the tournament right now. West Virginia, I know, is a very close third. They turn it over a lot on people, but not quite the overall defensive efficiency at Tech and Syracuse. So it's going to be basically what Tech can do against that Purdue offense and hold it down. And then talking about an advantage at Keenan. You know, the happy assassin, because as long as that game is close down the stretch, and by close I mean say 6 points with 2 minutes to play or 3 minutes to play, 6 point differential, and you put the ball in Keenan's hands. And the way he's playing right now at this level, he's unstoppable. He's undefendable. I mean, when he wants to get to the rim, he's either going to do it or he's going to get fouled, or if you back off of him too much, he can knock down the three. And you know, Florida played zone in the second half against Tech and did a pretty good job. So you can be sure that A, Purdue noticed that, and B, Texas Tech noticed that, and Tech is working on that zone offense a lot in preparation for this game. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if and when Purdue goes zone to try to slow down Keenan.
Well, in the first half, I looked for Zaire to work around the free throw line, you know, the elbow area like he's done as kind of a zone buster to create there. But in the second half, when they want the ball in Keenan's hands, I look for him to try and split some of those, even when they try and trap out of the zone, which was effective for a little bit. For 1 or 2 minutes, it was effective for Florida, but then it also, of course, led to Keenan having his pick of either Naeem in the corner for a wide open three, or what we saw is Zaire throw it down for a monster dunk to seal the game. So, yeah, that whole chess match ought to be interesting, but I have full confidence in Texas Tech's coaching staff to get her done. But late tip, Mighty Joe, it's almost 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time Friday. I don't think that's going to affect the kids, though, the fellas one bit. But I can't wait to see what happens in the game. Obviously, Red Raiders been rolling. It's been a lot of fun. Great stuff from you as always. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.